This is Hino's Sport, bringing you that heat and that far. We keeping the foot on the whoop on the next. We keeping the foot on the whoop on the next. And like the Tibetan mastiff that I am, I'm applying unlimited pressure. Because pressure does what? It bursts his pipes. Let's talk about it, man. Bill Russell has the unmitigated goal and the audacity to say that Tom Brady and Michael Jordan needs to catch up because he's really the GOAT, right? And he's going off of it and prefacing it off of him having 11 NBA titles. Now, Bill Russell is one of the greatest basketball players we've ever seen, but he's not the GOAT, and he knows the sport is going to emphatically break this down. So get the notepads out and get to the damn scribblers. So hear me and hear me fucking well. Tom Brady, there's arguments since he won his 7th Super Bowl, right? And he has a lot of litany of Super Bowl MVPs. There's a realistic argument for him. And they're saying now, who's the GOAT between him and Michael Jeffrey Jordan? Stop the presses and pump the brakes on the nonsense. Go sit down somewhere and what? Higgity fucking hush. Bill Russell and Tom Brady cannot denote GOATness. You got to understand, there's levels to this stuff. Meek Mill done told us this, man. He was a professor. He was a preacher and a teacher of this, man. There's levels to this stuff, and there's gears. And the gears is as simple as this. Even in GOATness, there's levels and there's gears. Michael Jeffrey Jordan is on a different stratosphere when we think of GOAT because he never lost. See, when you talk about absolution and you talk about someone has a perfect record, you cannot denote that. You can't pass that, man. You can't overcompensate that. You just have to accept it for what it is. Bill Russell has lost. Tom Brady has lost. So therefore and thereby their GOATness is not on the same threshold or the same level of Michael Jeffrey Jordan. When you try to check off every measure, every balance of what GOATness is, Michael Jordan is the standard. And if Tom Brady had to base his standard off of Michael Jordan, then he can't be greater than Michael Jordan. Kobe Bryant had to base his standard off of Michael Jordan, so he ain't greater than Michael Jordan. If you notice, everybody that measured themselves when it comes to greatness personification, who they looked up to in terms of GOATness, who they looked up in terms of greatness, in terms of how it is embodied at its truest and its most properest levels, they all looked at Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Tiger Woods, you fucking name it. They all did. Magic Johnson bended the proverbial fucking knee and kissed the ring while he was at it to Michael Jeffrey Jordan because he understood that Michael Jordan's GOATness is second to none. So why are we making this fundamental argument about Michael Jeffrey Jordan's GOATness versus Tom Brady? Tom Brady lost. Once you lose, you are out of the question when it comes to Michael Jeffrey Jordan. I done told everybody this. I done made this argument a long time ago. See, I was trying to put Kobe Bryant there with MJ, but once Kobe lost, he was out of the question too. This is the dichotomy that Jordan has had. See, if Tom Brady has 7 rings and he never lost in a Super Bowl, then we could sit there and say, well, shit, he got 7, he never lost. Now we can have a fundamental argument there. But that didn't happen. So why are we sitting here and making this conversation? Well, people can say, but it's football, man. Football's a team sport. Basketball's a team sport. It takes a lot of sums of parts and a lot of moving pieces to make things work, right? But it all boils down to the superstar. And in the superstar of Tom Brady, he didn't get the job done every single time. In the superstar of Bill Russell, he didn't get the job done every time. Now we know Bill Russell could claim himself as the greatest defender the NBA's ever seen. I'll give him that. He can make an argument in his time he was the GOAT, but he got superseded because it's not about the total number of how many NBA Finals and NBA Finals MVPs you have. It's how you won your NBA Finals and how you won your NBA Finals MVPs. This is the highest level of basketball knowledge. He knows the sport is the Moses standard bearer when it comes to basketball. And he's the Apostle Paul of giving you spiritual boldness of when it comes to basketball. So in its most cold-hearted, unadulterated, and cutthroat truth-teller fashion, he knows the sport's going to tell you the truth. And what is the underlying? What is the undercurrent? And what is the cold-hearted? What is the unadulterated? And what is the cutthroat truth-teller fashion? It's as simple as this. When we look at the delineation, we look at the distinction, we look at the gulf, and we look at the separation of LeBron James who's a 40% NBA Finals averager and performer. So he's out of the question. But in this instance, as we contextualize it, Bill Russell went to 13 dances and he won 11. That means he lost twice. Tom Brady went to 9 dances. He won 7. That means he lost twice. MJ went to 6 of them bad boys and he's 6 for 6. Never let that thing go to 7, dog. 6 Finals MVPs. That's 100% NBA Finals averager and performer. That's called absolution. So when we think of GOATness and we think of 100%, what is better than 100%? If we're looking at math here and we're doing percentages, what supersedes 100%? It's the things that make you say, It's the things that make you say, So Bill Russell, Tom Brady, as much as I love you, y'all both need to stop the presses and pump the brakes on the nonsense. A double whack. And both of y'all need to go sit down somewhere and what? A double higgity fucking hush. Because when it's all said and done, like Meek Mill said, because he prophesied this thing, he preached this thing, and he taught us this thing, that what? There's levels to this stuff. There's gears, and the gears is as simple as this. Jordan 6 for 6. Never let that thing go to 7. 6 Finals MVPs. 100% NBA Finals averager and performer. That's perfection. That's absolution in a single sport. This is why he's over the Babe Ruths of the world. This is why he's over the Muhammad Ali's of the world. This is why when you look at the century of sport and you see who is considered the greatest of all time, it's not a coincidence that it's Michael Jeffrey Jordan. This is why Michael Jeffrey Jordan has the aura that he has. He has the invincibility that he has. And no matter how much they try to make LaFraud James over him, because he don't even count. See, these are more realistic conversations. Michael Jordan over Tom Brady and Bill Russell. Jordan usurps all of them because he never lost when it mattered the most. Jordan showed that when the pressure was stacking the cards of the deck, when it showed greatness personification was called upon, there's a reason why the NBA 50s book calls him the ultimate assassin. Because Jordan had the assassin's mentality. This is why Sport told you this is the greatest game the NBA has ever seen. Because it's 100 percentile of NBA Finals averager and performer. Bill Russell wasn't 100%. So his GOATness is not on the same level of Michael Jordan. Tom Brady is not 100%. So his level of GOATness, even though they are GOATs in of their own right, is not on the same level of Michael Jeffrey Jordan's GOAT. So when we think of Michael Jordan, we think of the planet Pluto. And then when we think of everybody else, you could say Bill Russell's Neptune. You could say Tom Brady is Mars. But that's about it. That's the cold-hearted. That's the unadulterated. That's the cutthroat true teller fashion. I keeps the foot on the next. In this instance, Michael Jeffrey Jordan's GOATness keeps the lion's foot, the tiger's foot on Tom Brady and Bill Russell's giraffe's neck. This is He Knows the Sport. Check it out.